Well, hey, good morning, gardening friends. Thought I'd take you along real quick. I'm down in the grow room, getting some things ready while the family's still kind of getting ready. It's a little bit of a slow morning uh, for most of us, but it looks like the weather's going to be pretty good. The sun's out, and so looking forward to being able to do some things outside and maybe work a little bit on the garden. But I wanted to take you along real quick, kind of show you where I'm at in terms of the seed starting and some of the things I've got going on right now in the basement. So I ended up starting my butter crunch over again. So I've got some sprouts that are coming up, and I've got some romaine lettuce here. This has been interesting in terms of the effects of light. I think one of my fixtures went out the other day, and it's kind of interesting the difference between kind of this side and this side here that's further in on the light. Not sure what the deal is there other than light being a limiting factor. I got a couple options here. We can let this just go loose leaf and then harvest this and start again, or I could separate these plants out and do individual heads. We'll kind of see how the day goes. I've got two more boxes like this to set up, and then potentially move outside. And I've got a box that I'm also going to be helping a friend set up later today. So kind of moving over here. I've got the peppers and the greens all at the greenhouse right now, but I've got my tomatoes started, and they did come up. It took them a couple days, and some of them are still, they're slow to get up. And then I've got some that I've not seen any activity yet, so I'm thinking maybe those seeds were duds. The tomato that I'm bringing back that I grew maybe 4 years ago, this Dallas Wilson Cuban, that I'm entering into a tomato growing contest. So far I've got 3 sprouts, 2 that look pretty decent, the one that's starting to come up there, but nothing else is really, maybe 4 that are coming up. And then, a little bit on each of these other ones. Again, they're kind of slow to rise, but I'll have plenty of starts regardless to get some tomatoes going this year. I am getting ready to feed the worms. I need to check on them. I've had moved them a couple weeks back over here. It's a little shadier, and they're doing really well. I haven't fed them for a couple weeks. I put in a bunch of coffee grounds recently. Let's see if we can get the light going on this. But they've really worked this material over, and when I was kind of digging around a little bit last night, there's some baby worms that have hatched. So overall, the bin's in good shape. We don't have really any problems. You can kind of see the babies there. They're really thin worms. There's a lot of them that have hatched them, and they're just crawling all over the place. So that's really neat. What I'm gonna do is dig a little well here, hopefully without damaging the worms, because there's a lot of worms in here. Hey Tom, what's up, man? I'm checking out the worm bin here. There are a ton of worms. And I'm trying to dig out a little bit of an area. Man, look at that. Those are coffee grounds that they're They're chewing on there. Trying to dig enough space down to if you see all those babies, there are a ton of babies. All those eggs have hatched. Look at all that. I think that might be deep enough to get a good chunk of this stuff. I'm getting ready to put we'll just dump everything in there and see what happens. Whoops. Should have dug a bigger hole. Oh well, I think I can jam that down in there. I make sure I cover that up, because if I don't, there's going to be fruit flies all over that. Well, they'll be chomping on that for a while. There's some on the lid there. So what you got going on this morning? You gonna be outside playing in the garden, or are you working on cars today? Yeah, now it's gonna be crazy. The fun part's gonna be trying to harvest those castings. The one downside to this bin is I've not found a real good way of getting the castings out without having to just dump out the whole bin. I mean, I've seen people where so you're supposed to be able to put another tray on top and with bedding and like bait it and stuff, and it's supposed to draw them all back in, but that takes forever. Well, my experience has been there's still a bunch of worms that stay on the bottom tray, and last time I just ended up having to dump the whole thing out and then kind of comb through it, and it was kind of a painstaking process. And then at one point just let the bin run its course, stop feeding them, and they all kind of died or whatever happened. That's terrible. So yeah, so working on the garden today. Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out to the garden today too. I been out the last couple days, tried to each night go out and check on the stuff, and my greens are definitely ready. I need to get them outside, get them planted soon. They're really getting big. They're really healthy, but I'm having to fertilize them more frequently just to keep them healthy, because they're kind of exhausting, their little pots. That's neat. It'd be interesting to see how the tobacco grows. We're going to try today, I think, to mark out the garden beds, kind of see where we're going to be planting. My dad, so we got him this electric auger. That's what he wanted. He kind of put it on a wish list. It was kind of expensive, several $100s, but family pitched in. We got him this thing, and he's been having a ball and a half with it, just kind of playing with it out in the garden. He's been weeding, and it's gone really quick. I mean, he's just put that auger at the base of the these, you know, like the Canadian thistle and the dandelions and stuff, and it just drills it out, you know, and it tosses it aside. So I went out the other night, and he's got most of the garden weeded, and there was quite a bit of Canadian thistle on the one side of it. He's got all that out, and it looks really good. So what I'm going to have to do now is mark out the beds, and then plan on taking my tiller and just setting the depth real low just to clear off the cover mulch that's on those areas right now, to kind of get closer to the dirt or to the soil, so I can work on prepping those beds, and so they'll dry out a little bit, because right now it's just really wet, and if I were to plant anything, it would just I think the plants would be kind of drowning. There wouldn't be enough, the ground's not loose enough for them to really take off. They would be kind of limited by that. So we'll try to do that. I'm gonna work on maybe a not a bench, but like a table. I need to get some cinder blocks. I've got a frame that's got a yeah. I got a pretty big frame. It's like a 4x8 that I can set trays on. Then I'm gonna try to get set up outside, because I need to start moving stuff out of the greenhouse to outside, so it kind of gets used to the wind, the conditions, so that if, you know, I take it down to the garden, you know, when we get the straight line winds, it's not just gonna break everything off, but it'll be able to withstand that. So try to get some grow boxes done today, odds and ends around the house, stuff like that, but hoping to get quite a bit done and just spend time with the family today in the process and all that good stuff. So been a challenge the last couple weeks, you know, because I work late, and usually by the time you get home, the home improvement store, you know, stores I'd be interested in going to anyway, are usually closed because of the reduced hours and stuff. So it's hard to get materials and stuff, you know, unless I want to take a day. But it's been difficult to take any time off here recently with all that COVID stuff, and dealing with things at work and just needing to be there. But hopefully it's a spring and we get into summer, things will settle down a little bit, and we'll be able to spend some more time doing things I really would like to do. So it's kind of where we're at. My maybe you saw this earlier in the video, but the Dallas Wilson Cuban, I do have a few seeds that have sprouted, and a couple more that look like they're starting to come up, which is good. Supersonics, they're starting to come up. 1, 2. So far it looks like 9 of the seeds sprouted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 10 of the seeds of probably the 20 I planted sprouted. Yeah, I hope so. Hope I can get them going here. Probably another couple days in the pots just to get up a little higher, and then I'll dig them out and put them in their own cups. I've got enough space down here. But one of my fixtures in that, or ballast, went out. Both bulbs went out in this this light, looks like. Oh nope, they're back on now, so that's good. But yeah, I should have plenty of space here to get some stuff started today. Did start some more tomatoes. I've got another thing of Dester because that's the one variety that did. I got nothing, nada, none of those seeds sprouted, and some of them should have sprouted by now. So that's somewhat disappointing because that's one of my favorites. Thinking part of it too, and I think what I might do the next go around is just not mix any of that potting mix with anything, like just keep it a sterile, completely sterile mix to begin with, and then once everything sprouts, transplant it into the mix that's got the worm castings and other stuff in there, so because that might be could be a little bit of a factor. Sometimes that can affect germination if there's some kind of contaminant or bacteria or whatever. So haven't seen any ants since there was one day I saw a few, just like maybe 3, but no, again, no activity other than that. I mean, they're just, so I think I pretty well got rid of those. Made up some more mint lighter mix too. I've given some of that away. Gave some to Frank. Actually, I sent him a mineral packet. Gave a couple jars pre-plant in the weekly feed to my coworker. He's going to be doing a little bit of a garden this year. And then a friend here in town gave him a couple jars too. It's pretty easy to make. So I've got 2 more jars made up that I made up last night. Now I'll show you what I got from Tractor Supply. I texted you that one time, Tom. I'll show you what these buckets are nice. So I've got basically the Hey Ron, what's up, man? I like these Gamma tops. So that's the ag lime that Tractor Supply had for like $3.49, I think it was, for a 50-pound bag. Peppers are doing good, man. Hey, bud, you just getting up? We'll get some breakfast here. I won't be on here too much longer. My kids are rolling out of bed. They all got to bed late. I've been up since 6:30.
I was up since 8 o'clock.
But yeah, if you go back and look at some of the past videos, the peppers finally sprouted. It took them about 3 weeks, which was just weird. I mean, I had the mat cranked up, hot and stuff like that. I don't remember it taking that long to get them to germinate, but almost all that tray came up. I had enough. I did close to 100 pepper plants are out at the greenhouse right now and doing really well. I'll probably make another video later today highlighting all that, but they're doing really well. I had shade cloth for 2 days. I think it was the baggies. I think yeah, no. I think it was the baggies and just I don't know. I think next go around, you know, Lord willing, next year, I'm just gonna start them in like normal, in a damp pot, sterile grow mix or whatever with the lid and get them sprouted that way.
You know what you could do?
What is it, bud?
You know, maybe with that little pot thing, you could put like 3 or 4 pepper plants in there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so. But right now my tomatoes, I'm trying to get my tomatoes going. I got a couple varieties where the seed was really good. Like pink brandywine. Most of them have popped up.
That's good.
I'll have to separate those pretty soon.
Ooh, Dad, this one is so cute.
Yeah.
They're still good.
I got a couple varieties. This one's a new one. Ananas Noor or something. It's like a green, like rainbow type.
Oh.
It's kind of a rare tomato, but Baker Creek said that they wouldn't germinate real well, so they overpacked the packet. Looks like I'm getting probably about half the seeds germinate, maybe a little over half, but they're looking pretty good.
Why is it like Dester and the terracotta haven't done very well?
I don't know.
And then like the cherry and brandywine.
Put the other one back up, Brandywine.
No, true black brandywine.
This is the pink Brandywine.
And then this is the true black one.
They're a little leggy right now because like I said, they just sprouted, but I gotta get them separate. I just threw a bunch of seeds in there. I mean, there's I need to get them separated so that you know, they don't get root bound and to the point where I can't do anything with them.
Oh.
Here.
Isn't that your favorite tomato?
This is a true black Brandywine. I mean, at this stage, they all look pretty well the same, you know, but pretty good germination rate on that.
Are these peppers?
Yeah, I've still got some peppers down here in bud. My backup peppers have sprouted and are going. I don't know if what I'll do with them. Like I said, I got close to 100 out at the greenhouse, so.
Plant some here.
I got an LED setup that's just mostly that blue spectrum light. I'll show you. And it said to keep it like 12 to 18 inches away from the canopy of the foliage so it doesn't mess them up. I could lower the light. Could try doing that.
What is this?
San Marzano.
Yeah. Most of them are doing
These,
pretty.
yeah, they sprouted probably 2 days ago.
What? How are there so many?
Yeah, so maybe I will move the lights closer then and see.
The cherry tomatoes, whoa, these two are doing really well.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, the grow mix still pretty damp. Most of the bottom water source is evaporated once I took the lids off. I took the lids off these once they started sprouting.
So that they could get more sunlight, more light.
Right now I got them on a timer where they're running pretty much 12 to 14 hours. I think it's 14 hours a day to kind of 12 to 14 hours, something like that, of sunlight. Not sunlight, but lights.
Well, yeah, to them it's sunlight.
It's a decent fixture. This is that Jungle by Plant Max.
Oh, the new one that you got?
Yeah.
And then you still have an old one.
Yeah, I still got the old fluorescents. I haven't seen much difference. I mean, they're, other than maybe wattage, the LEDs are a little more efficient. So, here, bud, you want to take this upstairs and throw it away? I just fed the worms.
Ew, can I see the worm bed? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I bet in about a week or two, that'll be all gone.
Yeah, they've worked this over pretty good. I just put a pile of strawberry caps and a banana and I think some scallion or green onion in there.
They can eat all.
Ton of babies in there. Tom saw it. I was digging through there and just a ton of stuff. Yeah, I probably should. I'll go ahead and move these lights closer. Get them down a little closer so that these things can,
Grow faster.
yeah, grow a little bit better.
What's in here?
You have to take I'll have to get some videos out on the greenhouse. Maybe I already have one. Yeah, that's another idea. I could put something underneath the trays rather than lowering the light. I could just lift the trays up.
Put a piece of wood under it. But
Yeah,
then,
do something different like that.
but then what about the heat mat?
That's true. Unless I put some like wood, something that would I'll probably just lower the light. Still got onions. I need to get my onion sets. I've been slow on ordering them. The last 2 years when I've ordered them, I went by their schedule, like based on our climate, but it was too early. The seasons, it seemed like they've shifted a little bit here, and it's yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it supposed to rain this weekend?
This tomato here, I've got a video on it. So I entered the Mrs. Green Thumb's tomato challenge, and I've got 4 sprouts. And this is the Dallas Wilson Cuban
That's the
tomato.
biggest one we've ever
It was a
done.
huge one. I got a video up on it where I found an old picture. My daughter, when we harvested one of those things, I mean, that thing was a monster.
It's as big as my head.
So anyway, we're going to try to get those cultivated. It's been about 4 years since I've grown that variety, so I wasn't sure the seeds were still viable. And so I put a fair amount in there, probably sowed about 20 seeds, and I've got 4 that came up. So hopefully I can
At
get
least-
those along, and they'll do well this year, and we'll get a harvest so I can save seeds from those. I was real bummed about half the tomato seeds I saved this past year.
We're gone.
Yeah, this past year were disappeared. I don't know what happened to them. They got thrown away, something. But I couldn't find them. So I don't know. Bummed about that. And so yeah, I've got them in a went to Kroger. This like initially. You can bring that over here, bud.
What is it?
The seed tub. So one little pro tip, in the you go to like a bakery or like the bakery at the grocery store, they get these tubs. It's like 1.5 gallons. It's food grade seal. This is a 1.5 gallon tub. They did have icing in it. They get rid of them, and so you can ask them. And I got 2 of them free, and so I got all my seeds in this tub in Ziploc bags.
That could be
And they've been in the refrigerator. So I've tried to be careful on storage to kind of slow the metabolism of the seeds down so they'd be viable longer. Now I think there's been stints where I've had this outside the refrigerator because we didn't have room. Like we had other stuff. We were having a party or something, so I had to take it out of the fridge. But it was in the basement, like in a cooler climate, so it's not like this has been sitting out in the sun or 70-degree temps or anything like that. So I've tried to be careful with it. But still no guarantees. You want to put that back in the fridge, bud?
So all the ants died?
Yep, the ants are done, bud.
Yes.
Hey, Stone, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm not going to stay on here much longer. We got stuff we're going to be doing today.
Like what?
Like the garden, bud.
What? It's supposed to rain at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. There's a lot of seeds that won't germinate unless they go through a hard spell. Kind of like you're saying, like, simulating the seasons, winter. Like they have to go through a freezing process. So they'll know. I think there's especially like apples. Yeah, pawpaws. Yeah, fun today, Tom. We'll have to catch up here later. Maybe I'll jump on here later tonight, debrief everything we're doing today. We'll see. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you, Stone. Well, Ron, I think I'm gonna jump off here myself. I hear my other kids. I hear footsteps above me, and
Sliding
which
up
means
doors.
that in the sliding glass door, which means there's kids going. I hear my dog barking now. Anyway, I'm gonna get things going, but may drop back in later tonight. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'll try to make a video, show you what all's out at the garden, how things are going out there. So anyway, I guess that's it for now. I'll catch you all later. Have a great day.